Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining the Office of Nutrition and Program Services for an information buffet about verification. My name is Ruth Howard, and with me today are Maddie Parker and Amy McGregor. We will be going over the verification process. We will record the main portion of today's training and post it to our YouTube channel. Please do not use any AI features. We will have to remove you from this training if we see any AI features pop up. Please drop your questions in the chat and we will answer as many as we can at the end. And if we don't get to your question today, we will email you an answer. So let's get started. Let me get rid of that. There we go. Verification is only required when eligibility is determined through the application process and is not required for eligibility determinations made through the direct certification process. Here are some acronyms you should familiarize yourself with that are used in today's training. I'll give you a minute to read through these. Here are some key terms that we will be using in the training and things you should be familiar with. So I'll give you a second to glance through these. And here are some more key terms we'll use throughout the presentation today. Okay. So I do want to remind you that Section 6 of the USDA Eligibility Manual provides guidance on the verification process. It's a great resource, and you should be using the July 18, 2017 version. This is a reminder of who is not included in the verification pool. As part of the application process this year, the state agency asked that applications with a case number whose students do not appear on the DC list be verified with a notice of decision from the Department of Health and Human Services. If you've completed this process, these applications have already been verified and are not part of the sample pool. School food authorities may choose not to count applications for students in split-session kindergarten programs pertaining in the special milk program. I just wanted to remind you about applications with mixed households. They are part of verification, so make sure you're including those in there as well in the sample pool. Now here's our timeline. Completed by November 15th means that all final letters are issued to the households and determinations are made. This does not mean that a child's change in eligibility occurs by November 15th. And complete the FNS 742 as soon as verification is completed. Don't delay. Improving the verification process. Nationally, on average, around 40% of contacted households do not respond to the verification notice, which results in the loss of meal benefits for potentially eligible children. So make sure you're reading through this and following up as you're required to do. For multi-district school administration units, please be aware that each district will have its own verification pool and process. To begin verification, the School Food Authority may project the number of approved applications, the sample pool, it anticipates will be on file as of October 1st. This projection is based on prior year's experience, for example, the number of approved applications in previous years. The final sample pool is the actual number of approved applications on file as of October 1st. Establishing the sample size. Verification for cause is not part of the verification process. Please contact our office with any questions regarding verification for cause. Confirmation review of applications selected for verification. So the state agency may request documentation to support the accuracy of the school food authority's system if you have one for selecting the sample pool. The state agency determines the technology-based system is inadequate. It may require the school food authority to conduct a confirmation review of each application selected for verification. After completing the confirmation reviews, the SFA may, on a case-by-case basis, replace up to 5% of applications selected. Applications may be replaced when the school food authority believes the household would be unable to satisfactorily respond to the verification request. The confirmation review may reveal errors in the original household income determination. This table explains what to do in each case. In the last example, if the status is changed from free to reduced to paid, the application must be replaced in the verification pool by another similar application. The replaced application should go through the confirmation review too. So this is in the eligibility manual. Very important to tell you what to do here. Post-selection procedures, replacing applications. So for example, an error-prone application must be substituted for a withdrawn error-prone application. The newly selected application must then go through the confirmation review. Standard sample size. Application selection must be done by district. If using a computer system, verify the amount of applications selected for verification. If using an electronic system, make sure to round up. For example, if 5.14 applications are selected, round up to 6. These two methods here are used to improve response rates, and you need to reach out to our office for approval before using either of the alternate processes for verification. Completing the sample size. Please pay special attention to the sample size. We are requiring verification to be completed by district, and contact our office if you have any questions about that. Household notification of selection. On the next slide, we'll talk about acceptable documentation to accept for verification. But after the confirmation review, you'll inform the household in writing of selection and provide a list of documents or other forms of evidence that the household has to submit to the school food authority. Make sure you're sending your notices of verification in a clear, consistent format whenever possible in the parent or guardian's primary language. They should also have a system to provide written notices in that language that they're primarily using and offer oral help to parents or guardians having trouble understanding the written request. Supporting documentation or evidence. For income-eligible applications, acceptable written evidence contains the name of the household member, the amount of income received, the frequency received, and the date the income was received. A pay stub with no dates would be insufficient written evidence for an income-eligible application. Make sure you're using gross and not net amounts. For other source categorically eligible applications, an official letter, notice, or list from the appropriate state agency, social services agency, program office, or coordinator, or court would be acceptable. Collateral contacts. So please contact our office if you're using collateral contacts. There are further regulations concerning using them. We want to make sure we get it right with this, so please contact us. Indications of no income. So a reminder about applications selected for verification with zero income. The School Food Authority may request an explanation of how living expenses are met and may request additional written documentation or collateral contacts. Collateral contact may be asked to document the duration and type of assistance that's provided to the household. And remember to contact our office if you are using collateral contacts. You are required to conduct verification follow-up activities. The School Food Authority must make at least one attempt to contact the household when the household does not adequately respond to the request for verification. Non-response includes no response and incomplete or ambiguous responses that do not permit the School Food Authority to resolve children's eligibility for free and reduced price meals. Following up with households. The School Food Authority must document contact was attempted, and as you all know, document, or it never happened. Make that follow-up attempt when they don't respond. If they submit insufficient or obsolete evidence, the household does not designate collateral contacts, or the collateral contacts are unable or unwilling to provide the requested evidence. When verification is considered complete. The following examples demonstrate how the School Food Authority determines whether or not a household response is adequate and whether follow-up is required. Number 1, verification is considered complete for this household. And number 2, verification is considered complete for this household when the household is notified that its benefit will be increased or decreased. If benefits are decreased, a notice of adverse action must be sent before verification is considered complete. Number 3, verification is considered complete when the notice of adverse action is sent. Number 4, these applications should have already been verified if the application had a case number, but none of the students appear on the direct certification list. So we all know about record retention and retrieval. You're going to make sure that you're keeping all your documentation. Complete verification package would include all of these items here. And you must keep documentation longer if requested by an audit, but we're going by 3 plus the current year. What you need to keep all the verified applications and all the documentation, copies, any notes, documents submitted and the submission dates, all related correspondence between the household and the school district or School Food Authority. Make sure to include appeals, if any. These records show that the School Food Authority complied, and you'll keep these records for 3 plus the current year, and make sure that the records are easily retrievable on an individual district basis. Make sure you're also keeping a description of your verification efforts that would include a summary of the verification efforts, including the selection process, total number of applications on file as of October 1st, and the percentage or number of applications that are or will be verified by November 15th. You need to be able to demonstrate compliance with the confirmation review requirements and the provision of a no-cost telephone number to families for assistance in the verification process. I just wanted to throw this slide in. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but this is what we would be looking for the verification package for an administrative review. And it would be what we would be looking at for administrative reviews in the future. So, complete the 742 as soon as the verification is complete. Failure to complete this report on time will result in delayed payment for claims. Make sure as you're filling it out that you're saving after completing every section. The due date of December 31st is not a day, New Year's Eve, where you'll want to be rushing to the office or at home doing this. Make sure you get it done. and contact us if you have questions, please. Sorry, I went in the wrong direction. Here are some resources that will help you through. We have a slew of resources on our website, and USDA has a verification toolkit that you might find useful as well. And also just a little blurb about signing up for USDA food safety news that includes recalls is right here. All right, the non-discrimination statement, and we will stop recording and we will jump into your questions.